Okay, I tried so hard to find this comment, but somebody asked me a really good question, which is why does Belly ask Jeremiah if she can have a second chance? And why doesn't she ask this of Conrad? That's a great question. I definitely have an answer for like how I interpret it. If you don't agree, that's totally fine. I know everybody's mileages are varying at the moment when it comes to Belly's choices, but I guess try to view it within sort of what we've been told, both from other characters, but mostly from her in terms of her mental headspace and that whole thing. So I'm going to get into it, but yeah, I just wanted to say it's okay if you disagree. Like any of my stuff, any of my videos, you can disagree, and you're still welcome here. I hope we can still enter a space of like being able to like have a civil conversation. Anyway, I'll shut up and get into it. Okay, so a couple things. So I think it's really important to recognize that there's multiple things going on here, which this kind of feeds into that whole dream monologue that she gave to Jeremiah. And so she dreamed of being with this man, this boy, for the majority of her life. And so that's a big thing to dream for and to want and to yearn for, and then to actually get it, like, oh my god. And so it's just, with getting it comes the maybe fear of losing it. And I think that's why she so easily makes jumps to the assumption at prom that they're gonna break up. Because almost sometimes when you make assumptions, that's your brain like trying to protect you. Like even though it's wrong to do, your brain's going, yeah, no, let's just assume it's the worst case scenario. Because if I can believe the worst case scenario, it's like I feel like I'm in more control kind of thing. Even though that sounds really bizarre, but that's kind of how our brains can work. It like jumps to the assumption. It's like, yep, that's the story. I'm gonna stick with the story because like, of course that's the story. Like because it's usually based on like negative opinions about yourself. And so anyway, but I can go on a whole, and we've been told Belly's opinion about herself can be pretty negative, and she also she judges her actions really severely and really harshly. So I think that's also something to keep in mind too. So it's that, and then also, and they technically broke up twice, right? They broke up at prom and they broke up at the funeral, and there was no contest, like Conrad didn't take back even in this scene, he didn't take back what he said to her at the funeral. He didn't apologize for it. I mean, he does kind of apologize in this scene, like, and that whole thing of I don't ever want to hurt you again, but he's not actually saying to her verbatim, which I think he needs to, because that she did the same for him. What I said to you, I didn't mean. I was hurting from my mom. I was like so far beyond functional. And like he kind of explains, like he gives context for the panic attack, but like he doesn't actually take back anything he said to her in the sense of like, it was a mistake being with you. And I know people are so sick of me continuously bringing up that line, but I just don't feel like you can overestimate how scarring hearing something would be, especially when we've heard her say things like this. Like, if I had a friend that said this to me, I'm so tired of feeling so sad all the time, I don't think I get to feel better, aka I don't think I deserve to feel better, I would be very concerned, very worried. And like, I do think it's questionable that, I mean, again, because they're teenagers, their cognitive thinking isn't great, but like, I was like, oh, Taylor, do not leave her alone. Like, she is not okay at the moment. And then especially in that bottom cap, so I'm trying to get out of the way, I know you hate me for it, but you would never hate me as much as I hate myself. And then Laurel's response to this, which is often parents, when they hear their teenagers say something like this, they're like, you're like, shut the fuck up, you're being dramatic kind of thing, which maybe to a certain degree they are, but at the same time, you have to validate that's how they feel. And again, like saying something like, I hate myself, the word hate, I loathe myself, I don't like myself, like all of like that underlining meaning. And I say all of that because I think it matters when it comes to the Conrad thing. She doesn't think she deserves a second chance with him. She doesn't because she's so ashamed of her behavior with him. So it's that, but also she has been given zero indication from him that both he takes back what he said, but also that he wants her. Like, it's very easy to, like, for us to, like, read his behavior as, like, of course he still wants her, like, look at the way he's looking at her. But she doesn't get to see that. And also she has to protect her heart so much, because, like, even the way their reunion, like, after their breakup, she was thinking, I'm so ashamed, like, oh my god, this is gonna kill me to see him again, I'm so ashamed of what I did, like, I'm so hurting, and all these mixed emotions, only to be met with him, can't even look at her, is so cold with her, you have no idea what you're talking about, like, just so rough and, like, angry. And so it's just, again, like, further cements this idea of, like, yeah, I did fuck up, yeah, he doesn't want me anymore, why would I keep trying? Because it's just so painful to open up myself in this particular way. Whereas with Jeremiah, it's so much more clear, and they've resolved things way quicker, because things between them, like, the stakes aren't as high, so you can resolve things clearer. But Jeremiah is also better at saying, this is why I'm hurt, you did this to me, I want us to talk about it, whereas Conrad's not very good at that. Also, I did want to include this interview by Lola, or with Lola, about the episode, when it comes to describing, what Belly's doing and why she's doing it, and this whole relationship with Jeremiah. So I think the imperative word is safer and more heard. She feels more heard in that relationship with Jeremiah, and she wasn't getting that with Conrad. Not to Conrad's fault, but he just hasn't learned how to do that yet, and I don't think he can learn that with her. I think he needs to learn that away from her, kind of thing. But anyway, so this is why I think she didn't ask for a second chance from him, because she didn't feel like she could. Because she's not feeling hurt, she's not feeling validated, she's feeling like, well, I'm taking things as you say them to me, and you're not saying anything anything different, kind of thing. Hopefully this makes sense. And the other thing I think people just need, like, if you've ever had your heart broken, like, oh man, you feel like you're gonna die at the time, you truly do, and, like, you're just like, I never want to feel this again, whatever I have to do to not feel this, I will do. And so I feel like that's a little bit of Belly too. Like, I'll do anything to not go back here, because it's just so painful. Anyway, but yeah, hopefully this made sense. And yeah, it's a great question. I wish I could have found the person who asked me, but yeah, great question. So this is a response to a comment from SM, I think Ellie. And it made me realize, because they were talking about how, it's almost like Conrad is in relief or can exhale again the moment he sees Belly in season 1. And then I commented this, like, yeah, it's like he can breathe far easier with her around, and then which makes this line, I really wish it was you line, that much more painful, because he was like, you are who I want in my, like, worst moments, and you also provide me so much calm. But anyway, it made me go back and rewatch this scene to make sure I got that line right, and I realized this is the only time I'm pretty sure, when they're having these types of conversations, where he speaks in present tense, because usually it's like, yeah, we really did love each other, or, like, I shouldn't have ended things, like, it's all like it happened in the past, and, like, I'm trying to think of the other example of when they talk about in the past. I thought we really loved, yeah, anyway, it's usually past tense, but in this moment, he's talking in present tense, which I just think is so interesting, because it sort of signals to you, and is obviously telling her, like, I wish it was you. I'm always wishing it was you. No, I really wish it had been you, or I really wanted it to be you, which is all present tense. He's deliberately, or the writer is deliberately saying, I really wish it was you, as in present, currently, all the time. I really wish it's you. And I find that so interesting. And I did not catch that in the numerous times I've watched this scene, that's what he's doing. And it also signals to you, I mean, it highlights their
which is why it's so heartbreaking. Like, they're communicating how much they want each other, but, like, not in the right way where the other one can hear them. Excuse me. Which just, it's so heartbreaking to me, because they want each other so bad, but they're not hearing